Before I start, let me ask you all a simple question, which you should think about as I proceed further. Out of the 26 letters in the alphabet, from A to Z, which letter do you think has the least amount of words that starts with it? Answer this question in your heads. What do you think the answer is? When asked this question, most people would probably answer with the 26th letter, the letter Z, because when you think about it, it feels as if we barely use it in regular conversation, let alone in our lives. But surprisingly, the letter Z is not the letter with the least amount of words that starts with it. And it is not the second least either. The letter with the least amount of words that starts with it is the letter X, with only about 400 words registered in the official dictionary. But why did we ever think that it was the letter Z that was the answer in the first place? Is it because we ourselves rarely use it? Or is it perhaps the fact that society rarely uses it and, over time, has developed a sense of unfamiliarity regarding the letter Z? Personally, I stand with the latter fact. It is not simply because we lack intelligence, but it is in fact society's influence, which leads us to assume that the letter Z is rarely used. Society rarely uses it, and therefore is unfamiliar with it. And people tend to stereotype things that they are not familiar with, mostly because the little things they do know about it are shaped by society's view on it. Our society has come up with assumptions about something that is just not true, but in a sense, that is inevitable. This is something that naturally occurs in any community. Society has come up with all sorts of assumptions about something that they're not familiar with, which is then spread far throughout society. These thoughts are what shape society and the beliefs sustained with it. But having such beliefs that stand based on assumptions and stereotypes, notions that are in fact based on little facts and evidence, can lead to many negative impacts on society. Today, people usually tend to not check their facts. If society offers some sort of concept, they automatically accept that it is true, because they think, how could it not be? Everyone else believes it. What else could it be? But how do they know? For all they know, society could be feeding them lies, and they wouldn't suspect a thing. Such a social phenomenon is caused by the fact that most people tend to instinctively accept something for whatever it is. This is quite a widespread problem within all of society. Assumptions are not facts, but people still treat them as so. One primary example of how assumptions can have a negative impact on society that people today may be familiar with is fake news. Fake news has been around for probably as long as societies have existed, but they have come to be much more prevalent in recent days. Many times, fake news is spread and made viral because people are unsure as to whether it is true or not, and assume that it is so. Because of widespread fake news, it is quite hard to know whether some fact is true or not, leading to many false rumors spreading. Fake news about a debunked 2016 conspiracy theory about a sex ring run by prominent Democratic politicians led to many conflicts, both physical and web-related, between those who believed in it and those who didn't, and even ended up causing a shooting. Small assumptions may not seem harmful, yes, but they can be the cause of many conflicts, even violent ones. Stereotypes are another example of how assumptions can have a negative impact on society. They stem from people's unfamiliarity with a certain something, which leads them to assume things that are based on little evidence and are circumstantial. Most of the time, stereotypes tend to be negative and insulting to the subject in question. Typical stereotypes regarding people can include aspects such as race, intelligence, and gender, and are the cause of many conflicts between people, even between total strangers. Racial discrimination is in part fueled by stereotypes that have been cemented throughout history and can cause a certain race to be in a disadvantageous position within society, like how it is in the United States. Stereotypes are examples of how assumptions can lead to biases in how people view the world. And society has unconsciously ingrained certain stereotypes within our heads, so that we think of them as normal. But of course, that should not be the case. To prevent certain stereotypes from happening today and in the future, society must make a habit of checking the facts and making sure their beliefs are based on truths. In a society where there are already so many different varieties of untruths, it may seem like an impossible task to cleanse society from all the untruth, from all the assumptions and falsities. However, we can always start from the little things and build on that. In essence, people need to realize that not everything they see and hear is true, and must make a habit of checking the foundation of something, no matter how trivial that something may be. Simple assumptions like stereotypical information regarding the letter Z that was introduced in the beginning is a small but important example, showing how lack of familiarity may lead to assumptions society has as a collective whole. That is the main reason why we should start with the little things, so that we can tackle the bigger things as more and more individuals work together to first fix their own set of values, and then society sets of values as well. Essentially, if individuals, one by one, begin to practice this, eventually, society will change accordingly, because many individuals organize a single community, which, as it grows, constitutes a society. Soon thereafter, the changed society will help to shape individuals to be better than they were before. But how can we, as mere individuals, help to prevent the spread of untruths within the society we are part of? What can be done so that our society will develop to be a more trustworthy, credible community that nurtures even more truthful people? This leads me to my final main point. Hopefully, through the development from a society full of untruths to a society overflowing with credible facts, individuals will be able to become more trustworthy and credible. But the fundamental basis is this. If individuals begin to question the facts and correct them, society will evolve to be more trustworthy and more credible, which in turn will help individuals to naturally become more trustworthy people as well. Therefore, we need to start to question the facts and do what we can to put this into action. With everyone's help, soon, instead of assumptions, there will only be facts. Facts which will lead to a more fundamentally credible society. Thank you.